Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of JD's Wildcat World. On this episode, we recap a monster performance and win against Marshall, and the Cats look on to a top 10 opponent as they play Miami on Tuesday night at 7:30, and we'll get into a little bit of a breakdown there as well. But before we get into it, I just wanted to thank everybody for continuing to grow this podcast, listening, rating, and reviewing. We're available on Spotify and Apple. And, as time goes on, I hope we eventually get an offer to be on Amazon Music and other platforms as well. Thank you all for listening and continue to do what you're doing. I hope you all are enjoying this podcast. I get several messages during the week talking about people enjoying it and talking with me during the games, about the games, and I really appreciate it. It's a good thing to do during the games and during the week as well. And any questions you all have, I'll do my best to answer them. So let's get into it. I want to start off by saying that Friday night's game against Marshall, and I said this at the beginning of the year against Kansas too. The first half against Kansas, that comeback we had there against Kansas was one of the most fun times I've had watching Kentucky basketball since probably De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk. And Friday took the cake on that. I think Friday night, the all-around game, was just amazing. We just look like a team that, when we're playing like that, who can stop us, is my opinion. Like, doing so many things right, moving the ball well, scoring it at will. I'd like to see our defense get a little better, but, man, it don't matter when you can drop 118 points on anybody. I'm super excited I continue to be. AP poll just came out a little bit ago, and, the national media is starting to realize that the Cats are ranked too low. Coming in preseason number 16, way too low. I understand we don't have a big guy yet, but the disrespect was continuing. We dropped down one, went back up one. Now we're up to 12th. And we host number 8 Miami on Tuesday. And it's a prove it game for us, which I'll get more into the Miami game as we go on. But first, I wanted to talk about Marshall, and the Cats win 118-82 in a just all around awesome performance. Put up 69 points in the first half. That's insane. We struggled last year in several games to put up 69 points total. All those games in the 50s and low 60s were so boring and hard to watch. We would grind it out. And it's been that way for the last couple of years. And I cannot be happier with this year's team because that's not how they play. They want to get up and get after it. And props to Coach Cal for that, and props to this coaching staff. I think John Welch has been a key to all this. Bringing him in, a fresh face. He knows what he's doing. He's game planning. He's scouting at an elite level. And, you're seeing the results. I think that what impressed me the most, to be honest with you, DJ Wagner again. And back-to-back games. Had a great game against St. Joe's. He's finally finding his scoring ability that we all knew he had, and I'd love to see it. He ended the game with 28 points, super efficient, 10 of 14 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3, and even threw in 5 assists as well. DJ's finding his groove. Just won SEC Freshman of the Week this week, and he definitely deserves it after the last 2 performances. So I'm glad for DJ. The only starter that wasn't in double figures was Aduthiero. He had 6. Trey Mitchell with 18. Reeves 23, and Edwards had 10. Edwards is playing somewhat better. Still would like to get more out of him. He only played 21 minutes as we were up a lot throughout the game. So didn't have to press him. You know, when you have Reed and Rob playing as good as they are too, somebody's minutes are going to go down. Reed Sheppard played 26 minutes. Rob played 24. And you could tell Cal was also trying to get Jordan Burke some work while we were up by a lot. He had 14 minutes. You know, Rob continues to be my favorite player on this team. Just the way he gets after it. He had 16 points, 8 assists. I mean, he continues to just play awesome, get everybody involved. If his shot's there, he'll take it. He's really deadly in transition. He can pull up three. He can get to the rack. He can pull up mid-range. I mean, he's got everything in his bag, and it's so fun to watch Rob cook. And, you know, Reed was on triple-double watch, honestly. 12 points, 6 assists, 7 boards. Could Reed get a triple-double at some point this year? Yeah, I think that's possible. You know, when you do everything as well as Reed Sheppard does, a triple-double, it's definitely in the cards. But I just want to continue to praise these guys. I said, you know, when I started this podcast, I think in the first episode, I told everybody this podcast I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'm not tearing these guys down for their performance, and they have gave me no reason to. Even in the one loss against Kansas, our guys played awesome. They did as much as they could trying to win. I think you have that Kansas game in March, or maybe even again right now, I think we win it. So, especially when you add Aaron Bradshaw and Big Z in there by the end of the year, I think we're in very good shape. I only shot 27 threes, which was a little shock to me. And I say that and I'm thinking mostly in the Cal era, that would be a big number. But this year, it's not. One of the lower numbers of the year. We made 16 of them, though. That's the thing. These guys, we just shoot it at an insane clip. 59% from three, 60% overall shooting from the field. Just really got after it. It was a great game. I expected a 25-point win. I definitely was confident in covering the spread. Shout out to everybody who made some money on that. I think, you know, the spread was too low at 18.5. Marshall they come off a long road trip. They came in here with a losing record. And, you know, I think the Cats really took it to them. And that was great to see. I said I wanted to see us get after it from the moment it tipped off. You know, with these day after Thanksgiving games, you could understand them being a little bit rusty, but the Cats were not. They came out, took care of business early, put them down early, and there really wasn't any more opportunities for Marshall after that. So I would like to see one thing I will critique a little bit. I would like to see our defense get a little bit better. I don't like giving up 82 against Marshall, but at the same time, when you're playing as fast as we are and getting up and down the floor at an insane rate, you're going to give up points. And like I said, when you score 118, it really don't matter how many you give up if you can score like that. So, really, just a great performance all the way around. I look forward to this Miami game on Tuesday. I will be in attendance. I'm so ready. This will be the first time since Kansas last year that I go to a big-time game at Rupp. And, you know, last year Kansas got the win. I think this year's different. I think we can beat Miami. They come in undefeated. They're 5-0, ranked 8th in the country. But, you know, I look at their schedule, and their best opponent has been Kansas State so far. Won that one by 8 points. They were up by a ton at halftime, but let Kansas State crawl their way back into it. They were led in scoring by Nigel Pack, who played at Kansas State before coming to Miami. I think that's the main guy we need to be worried about, to be honest with you. He's a very good guard, averaging 16 a game. Their leading scorer is named Wooga. So I'm not sure how to say his last name. Poplar. I think that's my attempt. They do have a little bit of size, but we'll see if we can handle it. I think, you know, they're similar in the way they play. They are averaging 89 points a game. We're averaging like 93 point something. They like to get up and down the floor. So, this could be a shootout. And, I expect it to be. But I think the Cats are in pretty good shape to get this win and prove again to the college basketball world, that we're legit. And, even without Bradshaw, as he has confirmed he will not be playing, which I assume that since he did not get back for that Marshall game, I figured he would be out for this one. But we see what we can do. I have high hopes. Home game against Miami, a team we haven't played in a long time. They are very well coached. Final Four team last year. I think the year before that had a solid run. And, that's a good opponent. It's about as good as an opponent you can get for a home game in November. So, going to be a great challenge. But I like the Cats to win by a score of 91-82. I think the Cats get a good solid 9-point victory and beat the Hurricanes. MVP, I think it's going to have to be, if we're going to win this game, I think we're going to have solid efforts from everyone. I think we are a pretty well-balanced team, it seems like this year. But I think that has to continue. But I think Antonio Reeves will lead the team in scoring, and he'll hit several three-pointers. Get out there. This is going to be another game with the team with size. So we need a big game from Trey Mitchell. He's been playing great, been playing that really stretch big role very well. Hit a couple key shots against St. Joe's there at the end. So we know Trey can do it. I expect him to do pretty good too. So I'm excited. If y'all can't tell, I'm excited about this team. It's so nice to have Kentucky basketball back, playing at this level. And I don't see us slowing down anytime soon. Even if we do go out and lose against Miami, that's no reason to get down on this team. They have shown promise. They continue to, and the big wins will come. But like I said, I'm picking the Cats to win and go to 6-1 and give Miami their first loss of the season. And I will be in attendance to hopefully see that in person. We need a big win. I need to see a big win. The last I went to the tournament games last year and saw us beat Providence. That was a big win. But seeing big wins in Rupp, it's been a while since I've been there in person. So I would love to get this one and beat the Hurricanes. So thank you all so much for listening. I hope you all are as excited about the Cats as I am. It seems like that everybody around the fan base is. And thank you all for being on my Facebook page and continuing to listen and supporting me. It means the world. Just thank you. And as always, go Cats. Real quick before I hop off here, I wanted to give a quick shout out. I know this podcast is mainly about Kentucky basketball, but I know we've got some Kentucky football fans as well that listen. I'm a huge Kentucky football fan in my own right. This season has not gone as planned, but shout out to the Cats for beating the Dirty Birds. We're not even allowed to say that name on our podcast, but thank you, Cats, for getting a good top 10 win on the road against the red team down the road. A huge win, and very proud to say that was the wildest thing that happened on Saturday. What is a little bit of a misleading headline. I wanted to get into the Coach Stoops thing just for a minute. If you're not a Kentucky football fan, you can go on past this, but I want to talk about it for a minute. Wild night Saturday. News started breaking around 11 o'clock or so that Coach Stoops was going to be the man at Texas A&M. And, I had heard that he was pretty much gone. Had heard that he was going. And, obviously something changed in an hour or so. There's rumors going around to what that is. And my belief is, I'm just giving you my opinions here. This is all my opinions. I think that, one, it's came out that the board was going to be against Stoops being hired there. I 100% believe that. I also think, unlike some media outlets that are in this state, I think the fan backlash had a little bit to do with it. Not only from A&M side, but Stoops' side. If you think he's underappreciated here, go there and go 7-5. That job, he's getting fired. So, I think all those things are at play. I think as a fan base, we need to really think about it and stop acting like that he wouldn't be gone if it wasn't for the board and the fans. I think he would have been, to be honest with you. I think that it was ready to happen. But main reason being NIL opportunities. Texas A&M has the most NIL in the country. And that is something that the Cats have to step up. Kentucky as a university has got to step up the NIL. They're doing better, but we got to keep growing if we want to be competitive, especially in football. So I'm glad Stoops is still here. I'm glad he is staying. I think he's the right guy for this program. The last 2 years have not gone to plan, but hopefully we bounce back next year. And, the SEC just gets harder, so we're going to have to be more competitive and get better than we have been the last 2 years. But I'm a Stoops guy. I have been since day one when he said he was going to bring our football program to national prominence. And I think he's done that. He's definitely dug us out of a huge hole we were in when he got here. And all my respect to Coach Stoops and the staff. I'm glad they're all staying. And I'm excited to see what happens next year. See what QB we get out of the portal. I've heard Liam Cohen has already handpicked a guy. We will see if that happens, if it's who I'm thinking about. But I'm very excited for the future of Kentucky football. So I know this is a Kentucky basketball pod, but I just want to throw that in there. And I'll end with saying go Cats and go beat Miami. Thank you guys for listening.